Hi, everyone. So it's June 1st today, which makes it the 2-year anniversary of the release of this, The Crown and the Cage God. This is book one, part one. This is the part that came out 2 years ago. I'm 45, and so like 2/45 of it, that seems like such a long time. Like that much time has already passed. But the next installment, this one, that came out about a year and a season later. The gestational period for these books is longer than a human fetus. The stories themselves are already, I'm not writing first drafts. It's just the year plus, incubation period. This is all editing. It's one sentence at a time. I revise it over at like 50 times in a row. And then I move on to the next sentence and the sentence after that. And eventually I'll finish the book. What I'm doing that to right now is book one, part three. That's the final installment in book one. And then I'll move on to book two, which is fully written. I don't need to write a single new word for it. It's just sentence by sentencing until it's ready. And then I will put that one out and move on to book 3 and 4 and 5. The one I'm most excited to release is book 5. And because that's the final ending of the final, like the whole series. And it's fully written. Again, it just needs to be revised. And editing is what takes the most time. And especially the more sort of complex parts of, it's like a single sentence. In addition to conveying plot, that's the basic function of a sentence, but it might also be alluding to some other part of the book to help the reader sort of puzzle together a mystery through these fragmented clues. And then in addition to that, that same sentence, maybe it's foreshadowing, some resolution, how this will all end. And as soon as it starts getting that complicated, the revision process just takes forever. And I'm not gonna, it's like birth these books prematurely. I'm gonna do it properly, gestationally. They're gonna develop fully before they're out. And anyway, so the very first one, this one, it came out 2 years ago to the day, June 1st, 2024. The second one, book one, part two, that came out on September 5th, 2025. And the upcoming book, book one, part three, my goal is early 2027. I don't have a release date yet. That's just my goal. But to celebrate the anniversary of this one, of the release of the first one, I'm going to debut a new in-world song in just a minute. Let me just set it up. Now, all of these songs, I collaborate with Aaron Lum. He and I have been friends since elementary school. We've been collaborating on visual art and music projects essentially forever. What forever would mean to people our age, the bulk of our lives. And among those forever projects, there are 3 other in-world songs that we've already done. The first was called Some Birds Return, also called Home by Rorik, but most people call it Some Birds Return in the book itself. And in that one, I wrote and played a draft of it, and I sent that draft to Lum, and he created his version based on that. The second song was Wrath, and we did the exact same thing. I wrote and played a draft. I sent that draft to Lum, and then he created his own version. And then the third song was The Empty Sea, and we did this one differently. I just sent Lum the lyrics and sort of the context of the song, and then all of the music and melodies and the performance of the music and melodies, that was all him. But I also asked if he would do the artwork for a music video for that one. And I told him what I wanted the drawings to be of, and he did these 4 beautiful drawings, which you can see in the video. Now for this one, this new song, it's called Pulse of Gaea. And we went about it in the same way that we did The Empty Sea, where I wrote a set of lyrics, I sent it to him, and then Lum created the whole song around those lyrics. And I also asked if he would do not 4, but 6 drawings this time. And he did all 6, and they're beautiful. I'm going to share all of that with you in just a minute. But first, if you've been following this project, with the channel or whatever, for any length of time, that I am so opposed to AI in the arts. Lum is too. He's every bit as anti. Like if we're violently against anything, it's AI being used in this particular context. Not every context, but in the arts. And so no part of anything either of us does involves the tiniest influence of AI. It is 100% human, just as we've been doing it for decades. I mean, the world around us just keeps changing, but we have not. And we will keep doing it. Like even in the song itself, the humanity of it. You're gonna hear Aaron blowing into bottles, and then one part he's kind of putting some breath into his. He's an amazing saxophone player, but he's not like playing the sax. He's just putting some breath through it because the channeling of air and wind is a really important theme here. And there's a lot of like oohs and ahs. The importance here, the relevance here is capturing the different resonant frequency, depending on what sort of chamber you're in world context. Like even the percussion, you'll hear something that sounds kind of like drums. That's rocks. Aaron went out like to the beach and to his yard and just got all these different rocks and was just beating them together and clicking them together. That's the drums. It's all rocks. I'm convinced that in a different, or maybe a parallel universe now, Aaron is a really skilled and successful Foley artist. But in this world, in our universe, he's putting out beautiful music. And I will play this song for you now. Again, it's called Pulse of Gaea. I don't want to say any more about it because I don't want to give the heart away. I will let you figure out, where the song kind of exists in the world. What culture create, like not just where on Gaea, you can find it, but why it exists, and what the lyrics mean. I will let you figure that out. Here it is, Pulse of Gaea.
bonds of thorn would super high stands before the void beyond the mortal door. And the widow knows final song of war.
All right, that was Pulse of Gaia, and I just finished editing I'm going to call it the music video, the thing you watched. It was Lum's drawings, and then I wrote out the lyrics, and I scanned them, and I just put all that stuff together. And every time I send Lum a set of lyrics and an in-world explanation of the context of the song, the meaning of the lyrics, so I just love what he comes up with. His interpretation of the material, it's so different. Just go somewhere I wouldn't expect. I have come to expect surprise, and he just still delivers every day. It's like watching a Mike Tyson interview. The interviewer will ask Mike Tyson a question, and no one in the world can predict the words that will come out of Mike Tyson's mouth. That's the same joy watching that interview that I experience in listening to a Lum interpretation of some music in my books world. Except one of these is in the arts, and the other one's in like every other branch of the human, in like social sciences or whatever. Anyway, there are a couple of tiny differences between Lum's interpretation of my work and I'm going to put my drink down. When Lord of the Rings came out, the movie version of Lord of the Rings came out, there are a couple of differences. No Tom Bombadil. There's some differences between that and the book version. When Patrick Rothfuss put out Narrow Road Between Desires, it was an expanded version of the Lightning Tree. There are some differences. When Dragon Quest gets remade, this is the Switch version, there are story differences, structural differences between this and the original version. And the question is, which is canon? In all of these, what by canon, I mean the facts within the fiction. And this one, it's it's hard to say because Yuji Horii wrote both. In Lord of the Rings, it's obviously the book is, the factual one and the movie is the interpretation. But there are a few slight differences in Lum's work here from the story, within I have one of my books over here. We're in this, The Crown and the Cage God. And one of them is in one of the visuals, one of the drawings, and I'm going to share one of Lum's emails here, just part of the email because there's way too much spoiler in it. But I have clipped a piece of it out where he's describing one of the drawings he did based on my explanation, and his line is, "I think this would be a human's artistic interpretation, and that's perfect. That's exactly what it is, and I'll leave it at that." But there are two other points in the lyrics where there are just little deviations. The first one is lifeless vein. That was in the very first draft of the lyrics I sent him. All right, does this work not merely as poetry, but will it fit the sort of meter of the song? There has to be sort of rhythm and I shuffled some things around, and the final draft of the lyrics, that's empty vein, and but I think he had lifeless vein in his mind, from the first draft, while he was singing. But if you look at the song we did right before this one, you'll know what the empty vein is referring to. And then the very last sort of deviation from canon is, I mean, it comes right after that, talking about this river, and the line is, it's crooked wind. But in lyrics, like, W-I-N-D, wind is what comes to pretty much everybody's mind. And so Lum's saying wind. But when you get to this point in the novel series, you'll understand that wind doesn't work. Wind is the only thing that would make sense. But nobody would know that until they get to this point in a currently unpublished book. But that's it. Everything else in the lyrics and the presentation of the lyrics and the arts and everything is canon. And for anybody who wants to do the Easter egg hunt, you have my blessing. And I hope all of your Easter egg hunts in life are rewarding, and happiness at you and all of that. I will see you next time.